Okay, so I think we have a call here happening any second. We're just waiting on the go from engineering.
I think so.
Your voice.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, look at me dancing. There we go. Woo. That's
Hello?
a good gift. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, I'm tweeting.
Yay.
Okay, tweeted. It's done. There's no going back now. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. I mean, it's only been like 24 hours, so we're fine now.
Yeah.
Have you all been up for that amount of time? Everyone?
No, not
Okay.
everybody.
No.
Some of us are fresher than others at the moment, but
Yeah, you all look as fresh as daisies. Just a room full of lovely people. Hi,
Aw.
everyone. Hi, chat.
Chat says hello. They're
Hey, guys.
always a little delayed, but they're already saying hello.
So, thank you so much for calling in.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
And, maybe for people at home who may not know, if you want to just give a quick bio for, let them know why you're such an awesome person.
Oh boy. So I started my career, I guess, as myself in Hey Ash, What You Playin', which is a web series I do with my brother. It's like weird, surreal sketch comedy. And since then, I've become a voice actor and a writer. So I'm probably best known as Tiny Tina in Borderlands 2. I'm also Chloe Price in Life is Strange. Cassie Cage in Mortal Kombat X. This is the part where my resume begins to fail me. I'm in other things. I wrote for Adventure Time for a spell, and now I'm working on a show on Nickelodeon. Yeah, that's basically my rundown, I guess.
Nice. So we have been collecting some questions from
Sweet.
people in the chat when lots of people had various things. Of course, hey Ash, what you been playing would be the first question.
Yes.
Which
Actually, literally, what have I been playing?
what are you playing? Yeah.
What am I currently playing? I have been playing a bit of Overwatch here and there. I'm not particularly good at it, but I enjoy it a lot. I've been actually playing more board games these days. So I have a Pandemic Legacy group that we've been working through. But we just lost... I think we just lost the month of May like twice in a row. So we took a breather. It's a little bit overwhelming. The coronavirus has mutated.
Oh, geez.
Things are pretty dire. Yes. But a bit of Overwatch, but more board games these days, actually, than video games at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, those legacy games are super cool.
Oh, they're awesome.
They
make everything. The stakes are very real, and it feels so strange to like rip up a card.
I know.
Now I kind of relish in it, and I always want to do it. But the first time that I ripped up a card, I was like, "Are you sure this seems wrong?" There are there's like Risk Legacy, Reeser 6.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones.
Pandemic Legacy. Isn't there? There's another, isn't there?
I'm not sure that. Yeah, it is definitely sort of a franchise now of legacy things.
There might be like a sci-fi one. I think I heard about, or like something about pirates. Am I making that up? There's at least 3 legacy series that exist. I know that for sure.
That should exist if it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
Space Pirate Legacy.
Space Pirate
chat is naming Seafall. Yeah.
Seafall, that's what it is. Okay.
Monopoly Legacy. That's just you rip up the board and throw it away.
Just every game starts with the winner having a like 10 times margin of wealth.
Yeah, they just
over
own all the
everybody else
stuff
in
and
the
you
game,
can't do
yeah.
anything. Yeah.
It's basically just capitalism. It's even more capitalism in the game, I guess, at that point.
Someone's asking about voice acting, sort of outtake stories. If you've got silly things that have happened,
Embarrassing voice acting stories.
Yeah, well, it don't have to be embarrassing for you. You know, you could embarrassing for other people is fun too.
Well, this one definitely is embarrassing for me. I was, I forget what episode of Adventure Time it was. I think it might have been Dark Purple, or was it Dark Purple? I've been on like 3 or 4 Adventure Time episodes, and it was either Dark Purple or Little Brother, and my character had to push something, like a heavy object, and the way that I did it, and I did it for a long time, it just sounded like I was taking a massive dump, like trying to just push a massive dump out. And I could see out of the corner of my eye, Kent Osborne, he's the head writer and also a friend of mine. I could see him like laughing, and I was like, this just sounds like I'm taking a huge shit. And then I stopped, and he was like, there was like a pause, and he's like, do you want to try that again? And I was like, yeah, I want to try that again.
That must be a tough one though. But like that when you are just, you know, acting with your voice, that legitimately a lot of some sounds, especially you know, sound like just not just the words, but like when you have to make, you know, grunts or whatever sound like other things, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it's usually they're pretty straightforward. Usually they're like attacks, hits, falls, that sort of thing. But there are some times when they're oddly specific, and I don't really know exactly how to differentiate. Like there was a game I was on recently where I had to differentiate between fire, electric, poison, and one other type of damage, and they just all ended up sounding like fucking nonsense. Because I was like, how do you? I didn't want to be like the electric type one.
It's like, I am on fire.
Yeah, right. It can get weird for sure.
This is just someone saying, do you prefer recording with or without headphones, and why? I mean, you've got headphones on now, obviously, but
yeah, this is just for Bleed for you guys.
Yeah,
but that's interesting. I tend to, in group records, not record with headphones. But I think whenever I record for a video game, I do have headphones on. I don't really know. I think it's one of those things where it's totally at random, because sometimes I'll do the half off, and there's really no rhyme or reason for it. Dogs are freaking out downstairs. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's just, I guess, whatever strikes, whatever mood strikes, whether or not I have hands on.
Do you prefer the like group voice recordings as opposed to recording it, you know, when situations where everyone is recording their stuff separately?
I mean, it's definitely wonderful having other actors in the room to play off of. It's one of those things where like having a having just yourself in the room, you can kind of, it's an interesting mental exercise, because you have to flex different muscles to like create the context and the scene for yourself and to make it feel real to you. So it feels like it's using a different part of your brain, and that's kind of fun and interesting. But of course, it is always wonderful to like have someone across from you that you can exchange energy with and play off of. But frequently that happens in animation. Did my dog just howl? And then I got to, ow! All the dogs are howling. Stuff's going weird, guys. Anyway.
Someone's asking, you've been a voice actor for a while now, but do you still listen to recordings of yourself and be like, is that really what I sound like?
I'm used to the sound of my own voice now, but I will go back and listen to stuff after it's come out, just to like kind of sanity check myself, and also to I will like critique myself after the fact and be like, oh, that worked, that didn't, I wonder why that didn't work. And I try to remember like where I was in the moment, and how I was feeling. And I basically just do postmortems with myself, which are they range from self-kindness, depending on what mood I'm in. Like, get it together, Ashley, or like, oh, we could do a little bit better. But yeah, no, I'm not really uncomfortable hearing my own voice. I know some people still will be like, no, I'm not going to listen to any of it. Just never. Which I also understand, but I'm okay with my own voice.
Someone's saying, I really enjoyed you playing Piglet and Dren on Critical Role.
Aw, thanks.
And saying, are there any other upcoming RPGs that you'll be playing in that we can watch?
Man, I mean, I don't have any specific plans. Whenever the Critical Role folks ask me to come on, I'm always happy to because it's so fun. And it's such a good community of people, like such amazing fan base for that show. So I mean, I would love to come back or, yeah, I mean, there's a Fate campaign that I was doing with my friends, which if you don't know Fate, it's like, not dumbed down D&D. It's just a lot looser. It's not as intensive, and you can kind of like our Fate campaign, which we were kind of making into like a Hey Ash podcast, was, what did Anthony call it? Anthony was our DM, and it was called Undergods, I think. But we were all the players were gods of different random, like, because they're gods of everything. Like apparently it was like the premise of the world was that the last religious person in existence was about to be like, I don't know if there's a god, and then all the gods descended down from basically like Valhalla, and we're like, no, we're real, everything's real, gods are real. And so then all of the player characters there's gods for everything. So there's gods for telephones, there's gods for chocolate, and so we all picked what subject we wanted to be gods of. So I was the god of anime. My name was Animu. And then we had a god of, my friend Justin was the god of cyber terrorism. My friend Grant was the god of downers. I forget what else. One of my friends was playing Jackie Chan pretending that he wasn't Jackie Chan, but I forget what he was the actual god of. He called himself Jackson Chandler. So that's online somewhere. It's our fake campaign. But yeah, I mean, I would love to do more of that stuff. It's super fun.
Nice. This is a tough one.
Ooh.
Which dinosaur is the best dinosaur?
Oh. Does Yoshi count? Is Yoshi technically a dinosaur?
I believe he is, yes.
Right.
Room says yes.
What's his official designation?
He/she.
He/she.
I don't know what actually.
Yeah, it's a fictional anthropomorphic dinosaur. Yoshi's my favorite dinosaur.
All right. There's some spoilers for Life is Strange, but
Uh-oh.
what was your favorite ending for it? Cover your ears.
Earmuffs.
Oh no, so many people haven't played. Oh dear. I mean, this is such a cop-out answer, but it really is like, I played the game adjacent to my friend Sarah. We played it together, but I knew everything that happened, so I would never give her information or give input into what choices she would make. So she would just be like tearing her hair out and asking me questions about what I thought she should do, and I just wouldn't give her any input because I knew how things would turn out. But she chose to save me, I think. And then a few of my other friends messaged me and said that they chose to save Arcade eBay. And it's one of those things where I think if I had played the game, I don't know. It's hard to know because I played Chloe, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, I would sacrifice myself. But if I had played it with someone else's voice and got the attachment to Chloe that other people did, I don't know what I would have done. I will say that when I played Fable 2, I saved my dog at the end, which my brother shamed me for. But I loved my dog. So if that's any indication, then maybe I would have made the same choice as Sarah.
I like that when you said she saved me. as opposed to your character.
I know. There's a big chunk of me and Chloe.
It would be if you're like if the person who's doing the voice is like right there, it would be tough to be like, nah, I think I'll kill them.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Oh shoot, sorry.
Someone was asking what was required to get into the role of Tiny Tina. They suggest much caffeine and sugar, but was that a process to get into a voice that's different from your own in that way?
It's interesting because knowing that Anthony was writing her, I was able to. I know his style of humor because we have a very similar style of humor, and I know his voice, and I know what he thinks is funny, and so Anthony's my brother, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know. And so I think it emboldened me to take a riskier, weirder choice with her, because I had to audition for the role. Anthony asked if I could, and then it was a blind audition process. And I think if I had gotten aside for Tiny Tina now, I might not have. I might have given her more of a normal little girl voice. But knowing it was Anthony, I decided to just make it way weirder, and it ended up working out. So it was mostly just knowing my brother and knowing what he thinks is funny, and using that knowledge to craft a character that kind of fit the voice that he was writing. So
insider knowledge is really what you had.
I did have insider knowledge. I did have that. And yes, I am wearing a Sailor Moon shirt. It says, I want to kiss tuxedo mask on the mouth. She looks like this.
Saying, there's a couple of different sort of advice stuff here, but saying, do you have advice for people trying to break into the voice acting market?
Yes. I'm going to try not to make this a 4-hour soapbox thing. Yes. So the first thing is voice acting is acting fundamentally. So being able to make funny voices or whatever is not as important as flexing your acting skill set and developing your acting skill set. Having a range of different types of voices is super helpful, especially in animation. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to act. So you can't slack on that. Make videos with your friends and cast yourself, audition for things, take classes. As far as voice acting specifically, you can start developing a bank of voices that you can reliably tap into. Accents, impressions, different pitches of voices, different places where your different voices might live, and kind of just start developing a Rolodex of distinct voices that shows your range. And you can do that in lots of different ways. There are endless monologues and scripts and things available online that you can go through and try to assign different voices based on what type of character they are. I know someone who, when they were getting started, because they were a gamer as well, they would play SNES RPGs, and because those had a diverse cast of characters but no voice acting, they would go through and they would read the lines out loud to themselves and assign different voices for different characters and try to come up with their own cast, basically, with just them. So having different things like that. I mean, for a while when I was trying to develop a Scottish accent, I literally just found a website that had a bunch of Scottish women reading excerpts from books.
Oh, nice.
And I would just listen to that while I was driving and repeat back what they were saying and try to get the mouth shape correctly, the mouth shape in a correct place, and understand what vowel sounds sounded fake coming out of my mouth, and how to kind of correct for those things. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do spending no money to develop your range. And then as soon as if you decide that you want to really, like you've done all these steps and you keep working toward it, then you have to make a voice reel, which is usually like 10 to 12 voices showing your range. And getting a professional one done is expensive, but if you're just kind of interested in reaching out to, because a good way of starting that the process of trying to get cast in as a voice actor is you can reach out to your local university if they have animation students that are casting for like student films, or if you know of any indie game devs in your area that might want voice acting in their game. Having a reel, even if it's kind of a rudimentary reel for those types of things, is good. And there's lots of free software like Audacity, and there are different listen also to reels online from voice actors that you like. Like if you go to like Jennifer Hale's agency's website, SBV, there's just like a million different reels from different actors that you probably know and like, that you can listen to, and you can hear how, because like reels have sound effects and music and like transition, and there's specific slices of scenes that they take to show different things. So study those reels, and even if you make kind of like a rudimentary version of that, having that just toss around. If you like start a voice bank account or Voices123 account, having that up there is important so people can just hear immediately like what your vocal quality is like. And yeah, you could put your feelers out that way. So Voice123 is a website where you can kind of upload your own reel and apply for your own auditions. Again, if you have a local university or college with animation students, you can reach out to them. If you know of any game devs, you can reach out to them. And then ultimately, I mean, the landscape's changing a little bit, but most of the work is either in Los Angeles or in New York. So if you're not in either of those places, it might be a little harder to find work. But, there's a pocket of VO folk in Seattle. There's VO in Vancouver. There's some VO even in Georgia and Washington, D.C. There are small pockets here and there. And especially with indie games, it doesn't really matter where you are. But if you really want to, like, commit to it, especially if you're into games or animation voice acting, you kind of have to be in Los Angeles. That was a lot of bleh. Hopefully that was helpful. But
No, it's all sorts of great info.
Sweet.
People are saying that Vancouver and Toronto, if you're in Canada, would be the places to go probably.
Yeah.
There's a question about the acting you've done for anime, and wondering
Yes.
if it's different than other. So I guess redubbing as opposed to initial voice acting.
Oh man, it's so hard. It's really hard. My friend who does anime and games, she describes it well. She's like, anime feels like you're doing, like you're really working really hard. Like you're doing like hard focused work. And then when you voice games, it's just like playtime. Because with anime, it's so interesting. You have to like, so you generally have 2 screens, one with the script and then one with playback from the episode or the movie or whatever you're dubbing. And you have to make sure that your line is fitting in the flaps of the mouth while still, and then of course all voice acting for the most part, except for like animation, often you don't get the script beforehand. So it's a lot of cold reading. So the time you're reading the line is the first time you've ever seen it before. So a lot of times you'll go in, you'll be reading this line for the first time and having to split your focus between your literally reading, performing, and matching to lip flaps. So your mind is like split into like 3 different pathways. And then there's also, a lot of anime is a different level of energy. So while a little girl in an American animation might be a different type of energy, a little girl in anime might be like 2 times that amount of energy. So it's like for Mayuri in Steins Gate, it took me a while to kind of get into the mode of being like Colleen, now Carol, then Clinkenbeard, was my director, and she's awesome. She helped me a lot, and it was one of my earliest voice acting gigs, actually, also being Mayuri. But she had to help push me up in energy a bunch because I was so used to kind of, and also like the Japanese performance of Mayuri is pretty naturalistic, and so when you're localizing for American audiences in anime, you're also changing like I said, you're changing the energy level, and so it took me a while to be able to like push myself up to where her energy was and sustain that. So yeah, it was, and they're longer sessions. So like, I think, cause I was flying into Texas to do those, sessions, and I was only there for a limited amount of time. So, now I only do sessions that are 4 hours long because that's the kind of union standard. But back then I was doing like 8-hour sessions of anime. And so by the end of the day, I was just like, cause it was just so much energy to have to sustain. But yeah, it's hard. It's great. It's fun. It's super fun. But it's a lot. It's a lot of like mental gymnastics.
Do you ever get into situations where the scriptwriters have clearly like are clearly like messing with you, like they've given you 30 seconds worth of dialogue to say in a tiny bit little chunk, and you're like, there's no way that's gonna fit in this?
Well, most people at Funimation, a lot of the writers are also voice actors, so they know the struggle, so they're pretty good about it. But yeah, there have been times where like I'll see a line and be like, and I'll just look at the director and be like, that's not gonna happen, right? And they're like, yeah, no. So you'll rewrite some lines on the fly occasionally. If it's like I've tried to take like 3 times and I'm still not able to fit it, they might cut words or add a couple of words. But yeah, most of the time it's pretty well timed out. But yeah, nice. There are some times where you're like, that's like 3 sentences and they just did this. There's no way.
We'll let you go, and we will continue driving here. But in relation to Desert Bus, I like this question saying, if you were a bus driver yourself in the real world, what would you put on your dashboard to look at all day while you're driving around?
Aw, that's a sweet question. I would probably put, I'd probably have little figurines. I'd probably do one from Undertale, one from Harvest Moon 64, and one from Steven Universe. I'd probably do, I'm trying to decide which of each though. Probably be like Papyrus, and then from Harvest Moon it'd probably be like, maybe the farmer, or maybe like, the goddess, or maybe just like my puppy. And then from Steven Universe, I'd probably have a Pearl or a Peridot.
Nice. If I got onto a city bus and the guy, the driver had those lined up on the dashboard, I'd be like, this, I know I'm in good hands on this bus.
Yeah, this is the correct bus to be on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
So that was the wonderful Ashley Burch, voice acting and internet comedy video fame, and now also doing all sorts of cool gaming stuff with the board games.
Mm-hmm.